Once again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. There are very 350 here, but I think now there are about 310 here, right? Last year, the resounding response was Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just now I was feeling very hungry, but after listening to your response to your salam, I feel very full. Okay, we want to begin the event proper, right? So let us begin first with Huda Ali to open the session. Hopefully the session today will be a fruitful one for everybody. Allah bless this gathering. Allah allow us to receive the today and the sharing today with openness. Whatever is useful then to us kindly and gently, insyaAllah. So we want to open our event today with a short recitation by Ustazah Liyana. So Ustazah Liyana is a 7-time national champion, and she's also a calligraphy artist. And I think she's not, we all know her, right? Or we all have heard her recite. If not, this will be the first time you hear the recitation, and may the verses that she recites bring us barakah and land kindly on our lives. Ustazah Liyana, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu Iyyaka na'budu Iyyaka na'budu Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا واعف عنا واغفر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا والذين يقولون ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا فيها حسنت مستقرا ومقاما صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Ustazah. Let us give a round of appreciation to Ustazah. Marhaba, marhaba. Let us see marhaba tadi. We want to call her. 1, 2, 3. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Alright. Okay, so we shall commence with the event proper. I mean, we have commenced it properly. I'm so sorry, this is just like I'm very nervous because I've been told to do this by my bosses like this morning. Alright. Okay, so I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Fajar. I work with Hayat Network. I focus more on doing therapy, consultancy and training work together with Maimunah. So today will be your MC. I'll come in here and there. Alright, so before we begin, we want to just make some mention of our sponsors because we want to thank our sponsors who make your goodie bags possible. Alright, so we want to thank the following sponsors: Advisors Alliance Group, Huda Ali and the new line of clothing, food, Oka Iced Tea, alright, Carva Salon for Ladies, Aura Beauty and Wellness, Sue, who is selling some clothes, alright, as well as Wali Fragrance. Please give our sponsors a round of applause. So, sisters, everybody is here safely and soundly. Congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. Right? As I mentioned earlier, you need to give yourself a round of applause as well because all of you got the tickets while 100 plus more sisters did not get the tickets. Give yourself another round of applause. Alright? Okay, so sisters upstairs, I see all of you like panning in synchrony upstairs. I'm so sorry. We'll try to wait for the aircon to sort of lower and hopefully later on it will be a bit more cooler. We have some guests who are not here, so if some sisters want to make their way to some of the seats in the second row, there are probably like 8 seats in the second row, so you can come down later if you want to. Alright, so what else? I think that's about it. This is our 4th Her Convention since we started it in 2018. So let's give a round of applause to our network for organizing this. So right now we want to actually invite, we have a short fireside chat with our sponsor. We want to invite on stage an advisor from the Advisors Alliance Group, Ms. Nadia. Alright, so let's invite her on stage and give a warm welcome to our sponsor. Okay. Yes, Nadia. Maybe you can begin by introducing yourself and also sharing with us a bit more about what you do.
Of course, thank you. Assalamualaikum everybody. Nice to meet everyone here. My name is Nadia. I am here to share with you part of my transformation journey since we're on that topic right today. And for me, I came from a hospitality background. Over a decade of my career has been purely hospitality. And right now, I'm a consultant financial consultant with Advisors Alliance Group representing AIA Financial Advisors Singapore. So that change, it actually happened some time ago when I gave birth to my daughter. She's now 3, Naina, and she sparked something in me. So I wanted to do something for my life, something a bit more fulfilling career. And as like for me, myself, I have 3 sisters, so 4 of us girls we were raised by a single mom. My dad passed away when I was very, very young. So for me, when I grew grew up, all I know is female empowerment. That's all I know. Female independence, female empowerment. So to be here with you, with all the sisters here, I hope that with this short chat, I can inspire people to take that step towards empowering themselves.
Well, thank you for sharing a bit more about yourself. And usually when financial consultants are here, they want to talk a bit about financial independence. I'm kidding, or even financial independence. Maybe you could just share with the sisters here, what is financial independence from your perspective?
If you were to ask from my perspective on their bias, how about you, as someone who's not a financial consultant, what do you think financial independence is?
Well, I think financial independence is being able to make as many trips to the UK every year as possible with my team.
To the boss.
Right? So I think it's to be able to do whatever I desire within whatever means I can. I can. Yeah.
Exactly. We like to link what we call financial independence to empowerment, right? We want to be able to have the independence to spend what we want to spend, do what we want to do with whatever time we want. For myself, I chose a different route to financial independence. I would say I can choose to be a stay-at-home mom, but I choose to go out there, make my own money. And that is still okay because I myself have met my clients or women out there who are stay-at-home moms, they are homemakers, and they are still empowered to spend and save whatever they want. Nothing wrong in either way. But when we talk about financial independence, it's really closely linked to the financial literacy aspect. You have to understand the mechanics behind how our money works, how the planning works that actually serves us. So, sometimes people like to think that, I need to talk to my advisor, no, I need to talk to all those students, I need to talk about, I don't understand technical terms, all this stuff. It's normal, right? But actually it occurs in our day-to-day. When we go out to the supermarket, and then we choose product, and then you go and then you see, okay, I think the one is on here, I take one for one. Instead of spending $50, you spend $40. So technically you save that $10, right? Once a week you go to the supermarket 4 times in a month. 1 month you save $40. 1 year you save $480. Are you catching on? Very long maths, huh? 1 year you save $480. Who amongst us actually 31st December, my 480 I saved at the supermarket? Like, we don't see it. The problem is our money is so liquid. It's so accessible that we don't know what happens to it. So we need to understand the mechanics of planning and what goes on behind it.
So what you're saying is it sounds like it happens right in front of our eyes like every day and we don't sort of pay attention to it. So how do you be more conscious about the financial literacy? Even how would you know whether you're actually financially empowered to make the right choices or the right decisions? As like you say, it's so liquid, right? And moment to moment, you can't see it.
Okay, so that's why it boils down to the knowledge, asking the right questions and knowing what to do. So for us women, right, we wear so many hats. We are a mother, we're a sister, we're a daughter, we're a caregiver. I am a chef and a doctor to my daughter, So when we know that we are already powerful enough, we are already empowered enough, we need to also look at how we can manage that in financial terms. We are empowered in that sense, but when it comes to money and managing finances, most of us tend to, and this is from experience, we tend to say, I'm not interested, so I'm just going to let my spouse do it, let my partner do it, parents do it. It's about interest. And when we talk about interest, when we want to do something that we like let's say you don't like to talk about financial planning, but we need to find something that interests you so that you can talk about it. What interests you? Handbags? Pretty stuff? Cars? Tudong. So when we look at whatever we're interested in, right? Are we interested in taking care of our elderly parents? Are we looking at planning something for our children education? Whatever we're interested in, it actually involves money. And when it involves money, it involves a great deal of planning. we need to again understand what else can be done. So each of us, we have very different priorities, right? So I'm not saying that we have to be selfish, we don't think about others, let's think about our own futures. It's really just how you can make use of this knowledge, and most importantly to apply it to your day-to-day lives. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay, so I think I want to touch a bit more about how women or how our community talk about money. What's your thought about that? Because I think the experience that we have sometimes when interacting with women, that they want to talk about money, but they're not sure how to talk about it, even though they know to talk. So I don't know what are some ideas or suggestions you have?
Yeah, when we want to talk about money, do we realize that it's actually like a hush-hush thing? Like, no, you cannot be too obsessed with money. Oh, you cannot just keep thinking about money. Or my money is my money, your money is my money, so you cannot think about my money. It's like a hush-hush thing, and I really don't understand why, but I don't think it's wrong. God bless my husband's wallet, because I think that is empowering. I think it's empowering to be able to control that money, right? Your money is my money, what? So it's like, I don't think it's wrong. I think that is empowering. But what I find a bit perplexing in my business, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like sometimes we like to relate money to luck, or fate, or rezeki in some sense. I don't deny that is our rezeki, but at the same time we rely a lot on tawakal, that we forget that actually we also need to put in effort. Similarly, when we go to work, we have a job, we go to work, we get a salary. When we want our money to multiply, we have to put our money to work. If you want to increase your money, you put your money to work, send it off, right? So that part is like something that we women, we need to start by understanding what are our needs. What is it? You have to talk to people who can understand, to bring out that priority. Remember at the start I was talking about everyone having different priorities, what we want to do. What is it that we want to do for ourselves, for our families? Bring that out and find out what can be done to actually progress towards what we want to be.
Okay. Thank you for that. The timekeeper is giving me two more minutes, right? So, I think you there's so many things that you just explained there, because I think you used the word you said sometimes it sounds very complex and you need to explain things like that, and there's a process looking at how you want to pay attention to your money saving and things like that. So, I think maybe let's just take the last question. Alright, so what do you think, there's a lot of sisters here. I'm sure that we've heard the term financial literacy, financial planning, in so many platforms, So what do you think the kind of actions that sisters can take that's maybe the same or different, or you feel that can be extended in terms of this matter?
I think the first step, upon registration, everyone got a cheat sheet, right? I see someone fanny with it's a cheat sheet there. Under one category, it says savings. And when we talk about savings, the quote there, it says, pay yourself first before paying others. So, this is from Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm sure some of you may have heard it. It's a famous book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It really goes into the importance of financial knowledge through simple analogies. When you talk about paying yourself first, you have to put a fixed amount of money to invest in your own future, to invest in your goals. And then after you pay your expenses, after you pay your bills, then you can think about going to Chanel and maybe pay your Great Raya or something. Great Raya is sensitive now, IYQ. And after that, after that, with that spare, right, then you can actually take the first step to identifying whether you are being rich or being wealthy. A lot of people, everyone here, we are all rich, mashallah, alhamdulillah. We are all rich. But what is the difference between rich and wealthy people? The main difference is wealthy people, they do not look at their income. They have something else generating there to pay for their Range Rover. So it's at the side, it's generating. You don't have to look at your income, you don't have to budget. And the general of things, like, I guess what I really want everyone to take away from today is really identify, do you want to be rich? You want to get everything you want according to budget, or do you want to be wealthy? You want to get everything you want according to no budget. You don't want to get a price tag. And this doesn't mean material stuff, right? Not just highlights, right? It also refers to what you're looking for, which is education, your lifestyle, how you want to take care of your elderly. It's all the goals that is there lah. So I think the first step, put pen and paper, use that cheat sheet. I hope that it is the norm to achieve your aspirations. The QR code over here and on your cheat sheet, let's hope to connect again. I really want to get to know everybody. If you really want to look at it, I'm not going to scare you. If you really want to look at it, like really find out your details of the planning, I will love to be the friendly face to that. And I hope that we all can empower each other and uplift each other, because when women come together, we do great things. We do really good things. So, thank you.
Thank you, Nadia. Let's give her another round of applause. Alright, so okay, alright, let's give Advisors Alliance Group another round of applause. Okay, so we have a special segment for everybody. So yeah, I want to begin by just telling the story. Alright, my teacher, Ustazah Liyana Musfirah, she taught me that the word Hijrah means abandon or leave. Right? So I want to tell you a story about the Hijrah journey of Liyana Musfirah Network to Hayat Network. Alright? So we began just now by sharing with everybody that this is the 4th Her Convention event. Right? And next slide. So some of you have been here since 2018 with us, and I think we wouldn't know where we would be without everybody. Some of you, we were looking through old photos. Some of you, we could see how you have grown and aged together over pictures with us, and we really, really feel very blessed that you continue to follow our activities. So I think in 2018, Miss Maimunah and myself were not in the network yet, but we were somewhere with the network as partners. So I remember sitting in the crowd in her convention, the very first her convention, together with Miss Maimunah, and then seeing Ustazah Liyana Musfirah on stage, explaining what her network is about, explaining what her convention is about. So I was thinking at that point of time, I remember, this very young asatiza, very promising, and because we were seated in the first few rows, right? Skeleton behind, wow, got 500 other women. And she brought 550 women, I remember, the very first event, to the very first Her Convention. Can we just give her a big round of applause? So next slide, please. So, so I think in 2022, by then, myself and Miss Maimunah had joined the network, and Ustazah Liyana had expanded the network, and I think we took a break for COVID, and the next Her Convention was in 2022. In the next slide. So before Hayat Network was formed, by the end of 2021, we were already running 134 events since 2018, and we had reached out to actually close to 17,000 students. From 2018 to 2021. And I remember at that point of time, it was only a 3-man team. Right, Ustazah? It was only a 3-man team. I think we need to give Ustazah another round of applause. Alright? So now, after expanding the network, in 2024, we have run a total of 350 events. We have more than 27,000 students. We have, ever since we began our psychotherapy service in 2022 or 2021, just two therapists. You calculate yourself how Ustazah Liyana overwork us. Kidding. 352 cases. We have had over 100 engagements, and we have done over 100 training and consultancy with agencies and organizations. And I think we just want to take this moment to celebrate our network's Hijrah journey from Maimunah Musfirah network and to Ustazah Liyana actually expanding the network. And with Allah's grace, Allah's blessing, with your support, with all your belief in the work that the network has done, we actually want to thank first and foremostly all of you here. Can you please give yourself a round of applause? We now want to invite our Executive Director, Ms. Maimunah Mosli, together with Ustazah Liyana Musfirah on stage, please. This way, the other way. Alright. Alright. You must come to the center of the stage, please. Alright, so next slide. So, CEO Ustazah Liyana Musfirah, we actually just want to take this opportunity to thank her and to express our gratitude to her, this young mind, her leadership, her vision of actually wanting to expand learning and knowing in women. You know, she began with just focusing on religion and spirituality, and she saw that it's not enough. You know, we need to bring women to learn more faculties of knowledge. You know, psychosocial learning, financial learning, you know, relationship learning, and you know, she was struggling treatment team, and then she decided to take the risk. Never mind, go and bring in these 2 more people, and 3 more people, and 4 more people, and now we are a team of 6. All right. So please, again, we want to actually give something to our CEO to express our appreciation and our gratitude to her. So as a milestone of the Hijrah journey of Hayat Network, yeah. So let's give another round of applause to Ustazah. Let's give another round of applause to the volunteers who have made it possible for us and our work. Right? And another round of applause to everybody, sisters, for being so open and thank you so much. Yeah? Alright. Surprise achievement unlocked. Okay. Alright. Okay. So we want to go on to the next segment. Before we actually begin with our speakers, we want to have a short selawat session led by Ustazah and our repercussion group. So those who attended the selawat event will know that instead of we don't have a percussion group, we have a repercussion group. Right, so I invite Ustazah and the repercussion duo to the people.
We will start with istighfar. I think those who attended the selawat under the stars, you should know this selawat, inshallah. This is istighfar. We can zikir together, inshallah. أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا ربي زدني علما نافعا ووفقني عملا مقبولا وهب لي رزقا واسعا وتب علينا توبة نصوحا وتب علينا توبة نصوحا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا يا كريم الوجه بإذني قبل أن يفنى اصطباري قد كفاني علم ربي من سؤالي واختياري من سؤالي واختياري أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا. Okay, so the next one we will be reading Hijrah Tulil Firdausi Ahla. So this zikr is actually a zikr that has been played on radio for a long time before subuh. I'm not sure whether it's still played or not. No, I mean 10 years ago I think. Okay. So it sounds something like this. إلهي لست للفردوس أهلا. Is it familiar? Okay, now take the mic. We have one extra lah. Ustazah Liyana nak? Tak malu. Okay, okay, please start insyaAllah. إلهي لست للفردوس أهلا ولا أقوى على النار الجحيم الله فهب لي توبة واغفر ذنوبي فإنك غافر الذنب العظيم. Yeah, I'm going to increase the pitch little bit because I realized that I'm just with my own vocal range. Ilahi lastu. We're going to start with that, okay? So, one more time, I'll repeat. Ilahi lastu lil firdausi ana wala aqwa ala naril jahim. Allah hamdali taubatan waghfir dhunubi fa innaka ghafiruz dzambil azim. Tuhanku, aku tidak layak untuk kesyukurmu, tetapi aku tidak pula sanggup menanggung siksa nerakamu. Dari itu kurniakanlah keampunan kepadaku, ampunkanlah dosaku. Sesungguhnya Engkaulah pengampun dosa-dosa besar. Tuhanku, aku tidak layak untuk syurgamu, tetapi aku tidak pula sanggup menanggung siksa nerakamu. Dari itu kurniakanlah keampunan kepadaku, ampunkanlah dosaku. Sesungguhnya Engkaulah pengampun dosa-dosa besar. Tuhanku, aku tidak layak untuk syurgamu, tetapi aku tidak pula sanggup menanggung siksa nerakamu. Dari itu kurniakanlah keampunan kepadaku, ampunkanlah dosaku. Sesungguhnya Engkaulah pengampun dosa-dosa besar. InsyaAllah after istighfar, we are going to continue with Salawat Tafrijiyah. I heard yes. Okay lah, I changed my lah. Who wants to read? Yes. Okay, so Salawat Tafrijiyah. Okay, there are two versions of melody for this. I'll be using the one Allahumma salli salatan. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we can straight away zikr together, start together, okay? So, inshallah, from Allahumma salli salatan salli salatan ala sayyidina Muhammadin alladhi tanhallu bihi al-uqadu wa tanfariju bihi al-kuramu wa tuqadda bihi al-hawaiju wa tunalu bihi al-raimu wa husnul khawatim wa yustasqa al-ghamamu biwajhil karim Allahumma salli salatan kamilatan wa sallim salaman kamman ala sayyidina Muhammadin alladhi tanhallu bihi al-uqadu wa tanfariju bihi al-kurabu wa taqatta bihi al-hawaiju wa tunadu bihi al-raqaibu wa husnul khawatimi wa yustasqa al-ghamamu biwajhi al-karim wa ala alihi wa sahbihi fi kulli lamhatin wa nafasin bi'adadi kulli ma'lumin lahu. Allahumma salli salatan kamilatan wa sallim salaman tamman ala sayyidina Muhammadin alladhi tanhalu bihi al-uqadu wa tanfariju bihi al-kurabu wa tuqadda bihi al-hawaiju wa tunalu bihi al-raqaibu wa husnul khawatimi wa yustasqa al-ghamamu biwajhihi al-karim wa ala alihi wa sahbihi fi kulli lamhatin wa nafasin bi'adadi kulli ma'lumin lahu wa nafasin bi'adadi kulli ma'lumin lahu. Sallallahu Rabbuna ala nuril mubin Ahmad al-Mustafa sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Now it's already 12 midnight.
Thank you, Tika and the percussion duo. Right. Let's give our appreciation to all of them. Marha. Okay, so we are excited to begin with the conversation now. So we invite on stage our CEO Ustazah Liyana Musfirah and our special guest, Miss Huda Ali. Miss Huda Ali on stage. Good. I terperanjat because Miss Huda also terperanjat. She has to speak. I have to speak today. Alright. Alright. So let's invite Ustazah Liyana Musfirah and Miss Huda Ali on stage. Give them a round of applause. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Masih panas dekat atas tu. Yan. Khalisa, bawa beli aircon. Just see what we can. Thank you so much, Khalisa. Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pleasure to have everyone here with us, Alhamdulillah. Very unexpected surprise from my team, Hijrah, it's mine. event wouldn't be where it is without the help of everyone. So alhamdulillah, thank you so much for the meeting. But I would like to use this opportunity to thank Sister Huda Ali. Thank you for joining us tonight. You're on with me. Bismillah.
Assalamualaikum. Terima kasih Ustazah. Saya rasa macam nervous.
Nervous. Kenapa nervous? This is your job is talk and speak out. Macam mana?
Itu masalah dia. Right. I normally host live shows.
Yes.
But I've not sat on a seat like this.
The hot seat.
Yes, the hot seat.
Alhamdulillah.
Talking about Hijrah journey.
So you hijrah from the hot seat to the hotter seat.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, okay. I think one of the reasons why we decided to have this conversation with you is because we noticed you have just donned the hijab. And maybe you can share a little bit back end story, how it started, why it started, because I witnessed you actually perform your umrah,
Yeah.
and then somehow during the same time that was when you made a huge shift, and some of us, Buddha, some of the sisters here, they come to our events, our network events, the convention with hijab, but when they're outside, they're not wearing hijab, and we're not here to judge, we're not here to say they're not good Muslim, but they are still wanting to explore that sweetness or that push, you know. How did it happen?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I've not shared the exact story of my Hijrah journey actually. Whatever I've shared on social media, probably just gist of it. But to be honest, actually the Hidayah came in 2019. You see, when I want to talk like that, nangis. Please doa that I won't cry. Please doa that I won't cry. Okay. So basically, the Hidayah actually came long time ago in 2019 when my late dad passed on.
Okay.
So when my late dad passed on, the funny story is that, you know, I was searching for hijab at home and I have none. So I have none. It's like, Huda Ali, of all things, I don't even have a hijab to wear during the perbumian. So I'm like, this cannot be, you know. So I had to borrow, you know. I don't even have a jubah. So that bad, yeah, you know. Hari Raya, we all wear baju kebaya, baju kurung, you know. I don't have a proper attire.
Okay.
For majlis pengkebumian or during majlis tahlil even. So that happened. A few days later, I started to actually Google and started purchasing tudung online.
In 2019?
In 2019. Back then my second son was only like 3 months old. So I started buying tudung online. So back then, Dove had this kit called the trunk kit,
Okay.
like a starter kit.
Dove, eh?
Yeah, Dove.
Dove.
Yeah. Probably lah. That was the only brand I knew back then. Like, no, don't judge. They have the starter kit for newbies. Like, because I saw Daphne King
Trying it out.
presenter in Malaysia, so I was following. Oh, she actually bought this set, you know, a starter kit for those who wants to try to don hijab. So I bought that. So after that, I had that strong urge to actually put on the hijab. When all the hijab came in, I was trying, I was looking at it like, wow, so cantik, you know what, you know, all the shawls. I bought so many. Finally, I have shawls at home. You know, before this, my shawls are like with skulls.
Those on the neck, I see.
Skulls and tengkorak.
So hijab from skulls to duck. Mashallah. Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't know, somehow or other that probably I didn't grab onto that hidayah. So it was like a Melayu cakap semangat 5 minit.
In English, we have some sisters who are
It's like it's just
5 minutes.
that strong urge of putting on or donning the hijab for just that particular few weeks after my late dad passed on, because we had ceremony with keduri apa Ustazah? Like Ustazah also, but English also very bad.
What's keduri?
Yeah, so we had 3 years and everything, so I started donning on the hijab, and then after that, when I started to get busy with dunya, when I started to get busy with my work, probably some of you might not know I am a TV presenter and also an actress. So I had a very busy schedule. After that, I started to travel for my travelogue, and then slowly that feeling just disappeared, just like that. So and then I move on with my life and everything, and then it came back. It came back when I wanted to sign up for Umrah. I actually went for Karva's launch. That was the day I felt like, Huda Ali, you're not supposed to be here, because everyone else were wearing hijab. I was the only one with pink hair. Then I felt so out of place.
You look good.
So out of place. Remember Ustazah was saying, I am the only one without hijab. I felt like I want to grab any cloth that is available to just put on, just to be like, you know, in the group, like in the sisters group. Because I really felt left out. I felt left out. This girl with pink hair taking photo with everyone else at
The Karva launch.
Karva's
Yes.
launch.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you felt that.
Yeah, I felt that. Remember we were adjusting Fiza's
Hijab.
hijab or something like that.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh my God, I felt really out of place.
But that was also the first time you talk about hijab and umrah
Yes.
at the same breath. You're like, I really want to go, I don't know why, but I just want to make it
Yes,
happen.
I actually wanted to go Umrah. I wanted to bring my parents along, but I didn't have the opportunity to bring my dad actually. So he passed on, right? And then COVID happened and everything. So I said, okay, cannot. Before anything happens to my mom, I have to bring her. That's why I signed up for Karva's Umrah, which is in January this year.
Okay.
January this year actually. January this year. So during that one particular Friday, it was the only Friday I was in Mecca. So I was telling my husband I really want to do tawaf sunat, because when we were there, it was Isra Miraj. So it was super packed. So it was super packed that even the Mutawis were saying that you know, it will only be this packed during Ramadan and during Hajj.
Yes. Okay. Oh, so that time was the first Isra Miraj that was super packed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was saying that, you know, it won't be this packed normally during that period of time. So it was super packed. I was a bit shocked actually, but I really felt that sense of calling, saying that, hey, come, let's just do your tawaf. You can do it, you know, because I didn't know whether I was doing the right thing. Because what I know is I really want to be there alone
Mashallah.
at the Mataf area doing my tawaf sunat. So yes, my husband allowed me to go on that Friday. I went during the tahajjud period. I went down from the hotel at about 2 plus. So it was super packed. So I was praying, because I had a list of dua. Because Ustazah Liyana told all of us during that course, if you want to go, please make your duas. Please. Yes, you did. Prep your doa earlier, like, you know, in the book. So I really prepped all the doa that I wanted. So I really listed down in my little notebook. So I really want to baca the doa there alone. So that was what happened. To cut the story short, I did my tawaf. It was so difficult to find in front of Kaabah, but somehow rather Allah made it very easy for me. He actually opened a nice pavement, like, oh, easily, come, let's go in, come, welcome, assalamualaikum, masuk, you know. So I felt like, oh, he is really the greatest, you know. So only then I realized that, okay, you know, girl, whatever you do, it's all for him and only for him. So that's why I felt like, you know, yeah, I think it's time for you to be a better Muslim. Yeah, it's just she just like that.
Would you say that hijab is not just a physical hijrah, but it's also internal?
Yes, definitely. You know, I would say that the word hijrah itself is very deep. You know, there's so many definitions of the word hijrah. It depends on individual also. So for me personally, hijrah is not just about physical, it's everything about you. It's inside and outside at the same time. Because you can be donning the hijab, but if you are donning it without you don't put your heart and your soul there, you won't feel, this is from my opinion, you won't feel the sincerity in, you know, devoting yourself. Is that the right word? I hope I used the right word.
We are not here to say that those who haven't worn the hijab is not a good Muslim. We're not here for that. Because the main focus of this event, the convention, is to talk about how hijrah is not just physical. Because the term hijrah is usually used amongst our community as kau dah hijrah, meaning you have gone to umrah, kau dah hijrah. You have started praying, kau dah hijrah. You have worn the hijab and then you are now wearing more loosely, you are wearing marina, jubah, kau dah hijrah, right? It's not physical, it's side note, my abaya is run by Marina. I'm not wearing that tudung, I'm wearing the full set run by Marina. Yeah, so we're not saying that, oh, you know, like those who are not wearing hijab, you're a failure. Not at all. This is a whole 360 degrees of change.
Yes, in fact, I do have friends who are not donning the hijab, but they are so much, their iman is so much stronger than those donning the hijab. I mean, I see myself. You know, we used to judge, you know, tak pakai tudung or you know, tak solat. But I do have friends who are not donning the hijab. I mean, yeah, still chasing dunya, but at the same time, she is very strict with her solat timing. So when it's filming, when we are filming, she said, sorry, I need to break for solat.
Wow.
I need to remove my makeup, means I need to remove my makeup. So solat, after that, you put back my makeup on. You know, that kind, to that extent. Like for us, like we are so scared, right? Like, oh, okay, maybe if you wanna break for solat, you know, you will have to stop everyone else. But she is that strict,
Very
she's
fast.
not donning the hijab.
MashaAllah.
So,
prayers for her.
Yeah, so it's like, there are so many people, you know, when you start your hijrah journey, you will start somehow rather start to meet different kind of people,
Yeah.
with different hijrah journey, with different hijrah backgrounds. So for me, I'll just take, okay, the, you know, the good from here, and then you do what works for you. I mean, we cannot interfere someone else's
Journey,
hijrah,
yeah.
someone else's hijrah, because you don't know what she is facing, what she is experiencing, right? So what we can do is, probably we can just share our experience.
The first time you saw yourself in the mirror. I mean, before this, you put on for your father's funeral and for prayer, for Ramadan, going to the mosque, you put it on. But now that you have officially donned the hijab, what was the experience that you felt when you see yourself? Oh, Huda, that's you, that's me, you. What felt?
To be honest, I felt protected. I don't know why or how, but whenever I removed the hijab, I felt naked. That was what happened to me when I was filming Cantik Detective in Kelantan. Because in Kelantan, you have to don the hijab. So during that Cantik Detective, I was wearing the hijab. Well, even though it's not fully covered, but I was wearing something on my head because it's compulsory there in Kelantan. So whenever I finish filming in the van, I'll just remove the hijab. But during that time when I removed, I felt like something is not right. Like I felt something missing. So that was Cantik Detective. And then when I donned the hijab proper, I really felt that
sense of protection. I felt complete, and I felt like, oh, this is you, dah. Like, yeah. When I don hijab, I cannot. Even right now, if I were to flip up my shawl off my chest, I felt
Exposed.
yeah, exposed. Yes, that's the word. I felt
Semua terus
exposed.
turunkan tudung
I'm not saying it's just me, it's just I am. This is just personal. That's why when I created Hood, nak selip. That's why when I created Hood, it started with my own journey. I wanted something that I am comfortable with. I cannot like. I
Is this
just have
hood?
something.
Are you wearing a hood or a cap?
Yes. I'm
Black
wearing.
hood.
No, I'm not wearing that. Hood aja. Yeah, so I'm wearing hood. So I need something with coverage. And even my outfit, right? When I go for filming, so when they give me baju yang tight fitting, I felt really uncomfortable. So I am very comfortable right now with oversized clothing, high coverage hijab. Yeah,
There's a question here, Huda. Just now you were talking about filming, right? Like they prepare for you the outfit.
Okay, yeah.
What there are, as much as there's sweetness, there are also challenges. Some sisters, their husband don't allow them to wear hijab. Some sisters, their mother say, "Oh, kenapa nak step Ustazah? Like, take it off. You don't even pray. Why are you wearing it?" So, what are some of the challenges that you face ever since you start wearing it? And how do you bounce back?
Okay, so for talents in the media industry, right? So there's always this saying that the moment you don the hijab, somehow rather your projects you get lesser because there are only certain projects that you are able to commit, right? Like for example, I host Cantik Detective for 5 seasons for 10 years straight, and if you happen to watch Cantik Detective is a beauty travelogue where I go around spas and my body are most of the time exposed. Okay, not all, but some parts are exposed.
Last night, my grandmother was watching you putting hair mask in front of TV.
Yeah.
Hair mask.
A lot more than hair mask. So I had my body exposed. I was, doing massages. My legs are exposed. So the moment I don my hijab, there's no way that I can do Cantik Detective, which I've been posting a decade long. So I have to sacrifice that already. So things like that. So there are certain limitations to what kind of projects that you can post. So in fact, the network itself, the channel itself knows like, okay, like Huda is already wearing a hijab, so it's very difficult to put her in this project. Very difficult to put her in that project. I don't know why this is the mindset that local production houses have, but we have to accept the fact. And I remember at that point of time during my tawasunat, that was one of my doa. It's like, okay, Ya Allah, if this is meant for me, this is meant for me. If it's not, it's okay. So after that, subsequently, my doa would always be, Ya Allah, please give me the sustenance that allows me to istiqomah.
Amin. Amin.
Give me the recipe that, I can be a better Muslim. So, yeah, but amazingly, he listens. So I actually got like projects from, one door closes, so many doors, other doors open.
MashaAllah.
And those rezeki are rezeki that don't even bother whether I'm wearing a hijab, whether or not I am fully covered, doesn't matter. And in fact, more came in.
MashaAllah.
And my life has never been more peaceful.
MashaAllah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Yeah. So that's why I always
Thank you, Huda. You should.
that's why I always believe, or I always share with my friends who always ask me, how udah nanti dah pakai tudung, you cannot get this, you cannot get that. I always say rezeki is up to him. It's only him when you believe in your rezeki, because your rezeki is already tertulis, right? So you just need to believe that it will be there. You just put in effort, you just do what you have to do. He will make it easy for you, inshallah. And that is what I felt up till today.
Huda, I want to thank you for sharing your tears with us, and for you spoke to me before the event. You said this is the very first time you're sharing about a Hijrah journey. So can we give her a round of applause for her? Can you share with us a little bit about Hood? Like there's a booth outside. You're wearing one of them. You give me a few pieces. I honestly love it. I buy tudung from Gilang, inner. So all my students, you will see that if I'm in my 6 a.m. class, it's either telepong or that tudung. Can I say tudung bibi? But
I'm proud of it.
I love the material. So can you share with us a little bit about our Hood, so those of us who are here, we can go out and support the purchase of piece of wood.
Basically, Hood is accidental.
Accidental.
I just like to put more stuff on my plate. I just don't understand why, but it's just probably my doa, right? My doa is, Ya Allah, please give me sustenance. At the same time, you will sustenance that allows me to continue my istiqamah, right?
And it happened. So hijab, wood, and strawberry soon.
Yeah, it's like so suddenly.
Yeah, mashallah.
My life is already so busy. I don't understand why I actually put myself into Hood. And I thought, it's just selling tudung. It's just selling tudung sarung. How difficult can it be, right? It's just
difficult?
selling tudung sarung. Little did I know that it is not that easy.
Why is it?
It gets busier. It gets busier. I thought it's gonna be easy, what? It's just tudung sarung, just selling and buying. No, a lot more into it,
Oh, mashallah, look
I haven't
seen
slept.
how many pieces have you sold?
Oh, alhamdulillah, I think more than 500.
Yay, mashallah.
Because I am not selling it at a very
Dark price.
My niat when I started Hood is to create convenience for sisters who wants to don the hijab proper, like easy for you. Like for myself, my tudung sarung or tudung bibi, like Ustazah Liyana said, doesn't matter. It's something that I created for my own convenience actually. So when I keluar, I want to solat, it's so solat friendly. Same goes to the outfit. You see, my sisters here are wearing Hood outfit apparel.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Correct.
Anisha, can you show everybody?
I collaborated. So all my outfits can fit up to 5XL, and I am so convenient. I'm so happy, comfortable in it, because it's really solat friendly. So I don't need to carry because I have the habit of changing bags. So changing bags means every bag I must put in telepong, right?
Correct.
So how many telepong? If I have 10 bags, 10 telepong. So that's why I created Hood, something that is solat friendly for myself.
Are you wearing one?
Are
you wearing
the baju?
The hood?
Yes, this is the instant shawl. So
It's
the instant
gorgeous.
shawl, normally shawl is 1.5 to 1.8 meter, but this is 2 meters.
Wow.
So 2 meters. Same goes to the tudung sarung. It's very long. It's 100 cm, 75 cm. The back is 93 cm. So basically, it's high coverage tudung. When I started Hood, I was a bit skeptical. I was like, will there be people wanting to don this? But I said, it's okay lah, let's just try it, If I like it, probably people will like it too. And alhamdulillah, the response was...
We love it.
The response is overwhelming. I just did my first live
Last night.
It was scary actually. Up till today, my Hood's DM is flooded.
Bismillah,
We have yet to pack orders.
Bismillah, mashallah. Huda, last few words for those who are still thinking and exploring. Like there is no form of compulsion in our religion, right? You cannot take a knife and then you pray right now. We don't, especially in Haya, we don't believe in forcing people. So, but words of comfort, words of affirmation for those who are still exploring the idea.
If I can share, the moment you have that hidayah given to you, or probably just a mini one, do not let it disappear like what I did in 2019. So when you somehow rather have that feeling, or somehow rather receive that calling, do something about it. You don't need to go for a big jump, you know. You don't need to I went for a huge jump, in fact, from rambut pink to dome BB. But yeah, so probably slowly, just don't let it disappear without you doing anything about it. The moment you have the calling, take it. Do something about it. Do something about it. It can be as simple as jaga solat. It can be as simple as remember him in every step of your way. Just don't be like me, like in 2019. You know, it's just, I just felt so wasted. The moment he gave you that blessing, he gave you that hidayah, and you just brush it off, and you just, okay, maybe not yet, yeah, not the time yet. I'm busy with my life. I'm busy with this dunya. Yeah, trust me. The moment you do something about it, He will make your journey even easier, even better, and more peaceful, inshallah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Huda. Can we give Huda a round of
I told Ustazah Liyana, I am actually not ready to be sharing about Hijrah ini, because who am I? I'm still new, but I hope I did give like
You did. You certainly did. So please support our Hood hijab are available outside. There are how many versions? 4 times? 3 times? Quite young. So please go out and give it a try. There's no mirror outside.
No mirror.
So you all trust that you all look good.
Yeah. Inshallah. It's a tudung. It's an everyday tudung. It's not expensive at all. I'm not earning money. This is just I want barakah. I just want people to feel the ease, to feel the comfort that I am feeling it.
I have packed all of boot for my Umrah trip because of how fast it is. So thank you for
MashaAllah, thank you Ustazah. You made it so effortless, like you just pakai baju itu. MashaAllah, thank you Ustazah. Then you donate is just another level.
No, that's not true. It's just today is so uncomfortable. From a team surprise today, but anyway, we're gonna have a short break. So please go over to the booth area. There's yummy takoyaki. Allow me to do this. There's yummy takoyaki. Please finish the sale. There's these drinks outside. That's by Marlena. I'm wearing by Marlena. So this is what I'm gonna tell you, okay? So I recently went to Umrah, and then my students were asking me, so that you got ready super fast. I'm not gonna lie, I actually used the Warga Khimar set from, not Khimar, it's Khimar. Khimar means a set of long wear. Khimar means donkey. So I'm wearing a donkey. Kalau from Marina, that's wrong. So Khimar. So cuma sikit-sikit. Khimar. So nanti kau betul ke? Khimar. Ada benar. So they come with 2 sets. The khimar and as well as the abaya. And then, like I said, I have packed all our good hijab because you don't have to iron. Actually, you don't have to iron. Really, I don't know why you iron, because you be perfectionist in iron.
Not me. Some.
Also used. So there's also my abaya is from my Marina. So go out and we're gonna come back in 10 minutes time, inshallah. Thank you everybody, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. You can leave your things here and come back using the same. Yeah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wahai insan-insan di luar.
Fine, let's honor those who are here. Assalamualaikum everybody. So, what are we going to talk about? Yeah. I think just to put in some context, why we started, why we decide on this topic is because we realize that sisters find it hard to move from a position of stuckness to something else. So you want to do something different, you want to move somewhere better, you want to be better, right? All I can see is my Maimunah paper bag, our food paper bag, semua macam, right? Because we realize that the stuckness, you was apa? Yeah, because we realize that the sisters, they don't know how to unstuck the stuckness, from the stuckness. So, Hijrah is about the terminology of Hijrah, right? In terms of physical, you know that the famous term of Hijrah is when the Prophet ﷺ and his followers left Mecca, left everything, their family members, their house, their everything, and then they went to Medina to start over. So that is the Hijrah that we're aware of. So, in terms of logic, now that we're thinking of it, it's basically leaving literally everything that was so familiar before to enter something that is extremely different. But in terms of Lughatan is linguistic part of the word hijrah. Hajara yuhajiru means to abandon. So you abandon something that is bad for something that is good, right? So you abandon an old habit for a new habit. In terms of lughatan, in terms of language, hijrah means to hajara, which means to abandon and to leave something. So I realized that we don't know how to move. Even if we have moved, we will end up reversing or going back 10 steps backwards. So that is basically the reason why we decide to go with the theme of Hijrah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I know it's 9 o'clock and half of you are still, half of your heart is out there trying to figure out which to go to buy.
You cannot see. Can we request? We can hijrah.
I will hijrah for you.
We will hijrah on the stage.
Baru saya nak cakap, Ustazah, tadi dengan Huda you duduk, dengan I suruh diri.
You cakap you nak berdiri tadi. Hasbi Rabbi. Sabar. Sabar be. Astagfirullah, masjid. Anyway, I know this is not appropriate, but the entire team of Masjid Sultan is at another event. So the mosque is empty.
Lagi-lagi, Ustazah. You know, ada like,
CCTV. Okay.
I'm just gonna briefly ask each and every one of us. When we decide to, macam tadi Ustazah explained about why we decide to have this as a theme, Hijrah of the heart, for example. Can I ask the sisters here, which part and what part of your heart are you wanting to hijrah? Is that the emotional part of the heart? Or is it the physical part of the heart? Or is it the spiritual part of the heart? So let's just have a show of hands, right? So who wants to do hijrah? What is the first one?
The what? Emotional, right? Yeah. Okay, let's put up your hand. Emotional hijrah. Don't be shy. Just put up your hand. I won't call you. Don't worry. I'll just come to you later. Alright. Good. And then what's the other one? Spiritual. Allah, ya Allah, ya Allah.
Untuk masjid.
Seriously? Okay, and that one is physical. You said physical? Okay. What does that mean? Sister, can we pass the microphone over there? What do you mean? What do you mean when you want to hijrah from the physical heart? What does that mean? Oh, there's a sister. It's me. There, the one who says it's me. I love you, by the way, for putting up your hands. Sorry, cannot do that. Go on. Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Boy, people give salam this way. Mashallah. Yes.
I'm a bit nervous,
Know me.
but I think when you first said physical, the first thing I might probably, the definition might be totally wrong.
Okay.
But when you first said it, the first thing that came to my mind was of course the physical aspect, but literally the heart. Yes. I just want to change.
Just want to change.
Just want to change the whole thing.
You want to change the whole thing.
Like back in the better.
Everybody say Ameen.
Amin.
Ameen, Allahumma Ameen. Whatever you want to change. May Allah guide you, may Allah open it, Allah make it easy. And may your coming here be the very reason, and Huda's story be the one that ignite even more and make it possible. Bismillah.
Ameen.
Ameen, Allahumma Ameen. That's really beautiful. Thank you for being brave. So, who said that they want to actually change spiritually? I mean, not change the heart spiritually. Is that who put up the hand? Now suddenly the hand in the come already. Okay, Tanya, don't worry, I won't call you. Now let's try again. Who wants to change spiritually? Put up your hand, change your heart
There,
spiritually.
at the very back. Thank you for being brave. Yes. Like I said, there's no one in this mosque except us, so let's move. Yes, Bismillah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for giving me the chance to share this. It's been a struggle for me actually, spiritually, due to work, family commitment. Yeah. Right now, because inshallah, pray for me. I'm going Umrah in December for the third time. Hopefully my niat this time will be right path for me to do, inshallah.
Ameen. Ameen. So when you're talking, your heart is palpitating, right? But you want to change spiritually. And spiritually, when you say you want to change spiritually, what does that mean? Well, to change your heart to make it spiritual means what?
More tenang lah.
More tenang. But if you calm your heart, also tenang what? If you drink warm water and then you sit down and zikir, you tenang what? What does it mean? What does it mean to have that, right? and we have emotional lah. Somebody just have emotional, right? Everything I don't get right. So emotionally, you want to change your heart emotionally. What does that mean? Yes. Yes. Bismillah. Pagi, go ahead. Yeah, I will find the guidance here. MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Emotionally, basically, I feel like jangan senang marah, like try to be calm more, like try to perangai apa tu, react so emotionally cepat-cepat, like yeah, the reaction just like that lah, kind of thing.
Okay. So we think. Can I sit down now? it's very interesting if you listen to ourselves, right? So if I'm inviting each and every one of us to pay attention a little bit more. When you say you want to attend to your heart, sebenarnya there's a lot of function that you put in your heart. You know, our heart is the very function that functions for the whole part of our body. So physically our heart is very exhausted by us. You know, and if we don't pay attention to how our heart is being taken care of, or how we take care of our heart or don't take care of our hearts, you know, it matters. That's number one. Physically, our heart is taken care of because we need to ensure that what we eat, what we drink will have an effect on how our heart feels. That's number one. Number two, when we talk about, say for example, emotionally, what's emotion is also spiritual, what's spiritual is also emotion. And that's why a lot of our sisters, or a lot of our community largely, we get very confused. We get very confused. What exactly are we attending to? Are we attending to trying to make our hearts feel better? What does better mean? Our heart to feel less restless, or our heart to feel less anxious? You get confused sometimes. You don't know exactly what we're trying to attend to. And that's why it is very important. Firstly, I want to emphasize is, when we're talking about your heart, you need to also be able to help yourself find the language to define what exactly is happening to our hearts. Because Imam Al-Ghazali, for example, who have learned and written a number of books, for example, to just talk about the different stages of the heart, the different types of heart. Sheikh, what's his name again? Sulaiman. Sheikh Sulaiman? Umar Sulaiman, sorry. Umar Sulaiman gives us a list of like types of heart. Let me just read out to you, okay? Are you familiar with this conversation about the different types of heart? Okay, let me share this with you very quickly. I don't want to use that because I want you to pay attention to me. Okay? Number one, let's just go back to Imam Al-Ghazali. Imam Al-Ghazali and also Sheikh Sulaiman talks about the sound heart, which is the heart that is at peace. Right? We want the heart to be at peace. But again, when they describe it, you don't know what peace means. You cannot know what peace means when you don't know how to even imagine what peaceful can look like. In other words, they can describe for us what the stages are, but we need to be able to actually define it for ourselves. Peaceful can mean I'm sitting down here listening to Maimunah, and then Maimunah will make me laugh a little bit, and then you feel, at peace. For example. Right? And of course you have to buy more Maimunah. You know, but the point is, I mean, you see for example, when you see something really nice, that calms you. Right? But calming doesn't mean you are attending to the ailment that the heart is experiencing or the pain that the heart is experiencing. Right? So that's one example, the peaceful heart. The next one they talk about is the dead heart. That the heart is dead. And what does it mean by having a dead heart? A dead heart is a heart that doesn't respond to anything at all. You senyum, dia tak rasa apa-apa. Ada orang mati kat sebelah, they don't care. Dia orang tanya, oh yeah, it's just part and parcel of life. The person is dying, they're part and parcel of life. Oh, that person kena incarcerated. Yeah, what to do? Right? So, we need to be, all the scholars, and I'm not saying what they're saying is wrong. Alright, what I'm saying is they will describe for you or share with you the different stages of the heart for us to learn about. But most of us wants to achieve it without having an understanding of what exactly is with us. So what we need to learn is to differentiate if, say for example, what we are experiencing is emotional, it needs to be attended to emotionally. But what we desire most of the time is when we experience something emotional, we move towards spiritual. That movement that is extremely fast can be detrimental for your development as a believer. And this is what we're trying to highlight. When we want to do hijrah of the heart, it is never an issue about you hijrahing. But the issue is when you put yourself into tasks that you yourself do not know what the path is like for you to take. In other words, it is important for us to really understand where we are in terms of our heart, as well as our mind, and as well as our worship or us as a worshipper. So I like when the sister said, I have a physical thing that I want to change. Right? I want to change everything. That's a good thing. But slow down. Do I change my heart? Or if I want to change my heart, what are the steps that I need to be taking for me to then pay attention? What movement I need to be making? Now try this. Let's try this. When I ask you to stand up, then just stand up. Right? Standing up from the chair. Right? Okay. I'm sorry, mommies who are pregnant and those who are kaki sakit, you can also rest if you don't want to, right? But now, sit down. Hold on. Sit down and say Bismillah. Okay. Now breathe again. Breathe one more time. I need you to get up and say Bismillah Allahu Akbar. Stand up and say Bismillah Allahu Akbar. Right? Now sit down and speak to your heart a little bit, or everyone speak to your heart a little bit, and then sit down and say Bismillah. Speak to your heart for a little while. After you have spoken to your heart, sit down. Who says there's no difference? Put up your hands. You all afraid of using that. No difference. Tell me why do you think there's no difference?
I don't even know what to say to my heart. So I don't know what to feel.
But your chest is saying to your heart now. What is your eye saying to your heart? We don't know. How many of us don't know what's going on with our heart? Put up your hands. Very good. Very good. Does that make you feel that you are lost? Sister? Over there, Faji. Does that make you feel that you are lost when you do not know? I feel like I'm relaxing. Does it make you feel lost when you say you don't know how you feel?
Yes.
Very good. Who else put up your hand just now, sister? How do you feel when you say what you say? Come on, stay there with me. You'll be very well, Bismillah, inshallah. Yeah, very lost. I don't know which path to go. I want to be better. Yeah. I don't know how. Yeah. Thank you. How many of us goes through the same process? We want to feel something, but we don't know how to feel. But when we don't know how to feel, we feel super low about ourselves, and we just don't know what on earth is going on with ourselves. So many of us feel something, but we don't have the language for it. So many of us feel at loss, but when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah didn't move anything. You get angry, but people tell you don't get angry, don't be rude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot do that towards Allah. Right? So for those sisters who say that they experience loss and able to put up your hands, I want to congratulate you. Because that's the first step. That's the first step to actually learning how to sit with that feeling. And also to be able to actually find out what exactly does my heart need. Is my heart needing emotional attachment or emotional attending or spiritual upliftment? So we need to be able to define, because when we merojakkan emotion, that's a new word for you, right? When we actually combine everything, which sometimes can be good, but most of the time, it is going to actually create more confusion, especially when it comes to wanting to develop strategies to deal with that emotion. Some of us are angry at our spouses, but we know we want to try to make things work. But we want our spouses to understand exactly where we feel. Like, our anger is here, is right here, but we want him or her or whoever to understand that our disappointment is right here. And then we don't talk about it, but we expect them to know that our anger is at this level and so forth and so on. So, going back to the idea of Hijrah and the heart. So firstly, I wanted to highlight, please remember, you are constantly and will constantly be at different level or stage or states of the heart. Firstly, we need to determine whether or not the feeling that we're feeling is actually an emotional heart situation, or is it a spiritual? So going back, and let me just say a little bit more about spiritual. Sorry, it just came back. Where spirituality is concerned, yeah. Of course, there are stages as well when it comes to spirituality and the state of your heart. What did the Prophet say, Ustazah, when it comes to Iman as well as the heart? Maybe you want to share further.
We will go through the questions in our conversation. And there's quite a number of questions about they don't know where to start, they don't know where to go, what kind of direction to take. It can get very overwhelming, and then they cannot feel the sweetness. Like just now, Sister Huda was talking about, you just feel something inside your heart, but they have been wearing hijab since young and they don't feel anything, right? So I wanted to share with you 3 hadiths. Don't worry, all my 3 hadiths are sahih. So I will be sharing with you 3 hadiths. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is very important. So I will be sharing with you the reference number of the hadiths. So you can go to sunnah.com. This is important, especially for those who are still new in learning the hadiths. There's Quran.com and there's sunnah.com. So you can put in the reference number of the hadith and from which book. Yeah? But look at this. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-Muslim man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi wal-muhajir man hajara ma nahallahu anhu. So the Prophet ﷺ used the term muhajir, right? The one who performs hijrah, which is what we are talking about right now. But he opened up his hadith by saying, a Muslim is someone whose the rest of the people are safe from his tongue and his action. So if you want to understand what the Prophet said, the Prophet is saying, if you want to be a Muslim, if you want to do your hijrah, you need to know that you being a Muslim is not just a personal journey, but it also affects everyone around you. Your husband, your parents, your children, your colleague at work, right? So here the Prophet said, a Muslim is someone who doesn't hurt other people with either the hands. Maybe you do something, you type something bad about that person, you backbite about that person on social media, you repost about Fatah Amin or something, I don't know, right? That's now during Nadia's session, she gave a little bit of hints. Range Rover and Duit Raya. Those who focus would focus. And then the Prophet said, so a Muslim is someone whose other people are also safe from the tongue, because these two is the final output of what's in your heart. So if you don't control what's in your heart, what's in it will translate to what's outside of you. So if you cannot control what's in your heart, your mouth will say something bad because you cannot keep it in. And if you cannot control what's in your heart, your hands will do something bad. So the output is already part 2 of what's happening inside, which is part 1. So there is, right, the hadith about hijrah. And then part 2 of the hadith, the Prophet say, and muhajir is the one who hajara ma nahallahu anhu, is the person who stays away from the things that Allah say not to do. Simple, right, the hadith? someone who does hijrah is someone who stays away from the things that Allah asks you not to do. But the problem is, we know all the things that Allah asks us not to do, but we just cannot bring ourselves out of it. So if your tongue is so used to saying horrible things about other people, even when your heart feels wrong, your tongue has learned the habit to say something bad. If your hand is so used to hitting your child at every little mistake, even if you think, hold on, but your hand has learned the habit to do it, right? So the hadith is not that easy after all. But in another Sahih hadith, let me just tell you the reference number of the previous hadith. Book number 2 by Sahih Al-Bukhari, hadith number 3, volume 1, book number 2, hadith number 10.
Can I jump in?
Yes, before I continue with the next hadith. Yeah.
Because I think it is important for every one of us to understand when we want to be hijrah. I think what Ustazah is highlighting very clearly is that there are three major things or processes you are going through when you are doing hijrah. Number one is that you are leaving behind a comfort zone. That's something very comfortable and you are familiar with, right? To come out of that is already a big decision, let alone trying to actually assume a new process. So we need to understand that we need to give time to hijrah. That's number one. And then at the same time, yes, this is what happens when Allah bless you, my child. The other thing that happens when you take hijrah is that you are also confronting personal weaknesses. When you are confronting personal weaknesses during hijrah, what does that mean? You are confronting your own unhealthy habits. As much as you say, I want to hijrah, you are saying that this drink that you're familiar with, and this drink is also, it has done, quote unquote, a service to the body. You have been consuming that, and that's familiar. So the familiarity is what you are leaving. It's not just about where you're going. The body, the mind, the people that you are so used to be with, and these are like, this is the hood. When this is the hood, sorry, not hood. You are hood. Right? If this is the hood, then it is very familiar. When we talk about familiarity with attributes and attitudes and everything along that line, it requires a lot more work. So you are psychologically, as much as you are emotionally, as much as you are spiritually turning yourself in, 365? So it's a lot of turn that you are actually going through. At the same time, the last point is this, and I think this is the hardest part. When we are talking about hijrah, largely what we are talking about is releasing our attachment to the dependency that we have had. What does that mean? It means this is the thing that if somebody takes this away from me, I don't want to hijrah. Why? Because this is life for me. This is information. I have everything in here. And when you take that away, and some people just say, berhentilah, just stop playing with the handphone. Be so dependent on the handphone. Bro, my dependency with the handphone brings me more closeness towards Allah because I'm searching what you're not searching at. That, of course, I need reasons. But my point is that these are the three major things that we are all going through. If at all we are taking, I want to use the language properly. Hijrah is a journey you take on. It is not something that Allah opens up the heart and then ta-da, it becomes magical. It doesn't work that way. Hijrah is an effort. It's an awareness. It is a readiness. It is something that you will be able to take. Wallahi lazim, the point, the difference is this. When I was listening to what Huda was saying, I was smiling cheek to cheek. Because why? She took the courage to actually took the hijrah. She took the hijrah by the hand and she moved. And then tawakkal. And then this, and then something else. Did you think she did not fail? She didn't tell you she failed. There must be failures because part of hijrah is to fumble because you are going back and sometimes you're going back to what's familiar and also what you have been dependent on. I give you another example. If you have been, if any one of us who are familiar with pornography, for example, because sex is something that it doesn't exist in your marriage, and you are familiar with that, it's hard for you to make that hijrah because that is a need. Of course, there are ways of dealing with a pornography addict or the need for you to justify or satisfy yourself. But there are ways to attend to it. I'm not saying it's not there. So the first thing as Muslim women or Muslim largely, we need to recognize the problem is real. And we have been with the problem. The problem has been a part of us for the longest time. So it is us who wants to change, and when we want to change, we need to have relationship with the one who makes us change and invite us to change. In other words, when we want to take hijrah, you have to hold on to anything and larger than you cannot depend on just human being. Wallahi lagi, you need to depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is the one who opens the door for you to think about changing. So it is best for us to actually be dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the problem lies again, because we don't understand the Quran. And then we rely on teachers. And then we rely on teachers who are sometimes mangkuk. They are mangkuk. Not all teachers are mangkuk. Some teachers are. And then they take advantage of some people who do not know. And then you go astray. Allah guide each and every one of us. So largely it is important for us to recognize that we face before we make hijrah. Or even if you are in the process of hijrah, you still will be going through these two phases. Because you will continue to be challenged even before you take the hijrah, you have been challenged. And of course you will ask this question, why did Allah continue to give me challenges even after I made the hijrah towards Him? Ya Allah, I've taken the step towards you, why did you continue to change me? Why did you continue to challenge me? Allah didn't say, when you take hijrah, I won't challenge you. Allah did say, and please for those who have not come for our what class is it, Ustazah? Class of guidance class in Al-Falah, please come because we're talking about Sheikh Ramadan Bhutti's book and you need to know what Sheikh Ramadan Bhutti talks about. SubhanAllah, it's really, really beautiful. And Ustazah talks about it in I talk about it from a sociological as well as psychological point. I thought I said that.
And you know what I remember, not what I remember, I don't know why I'm stuttering. I think I can feel everyone's emotions from here and how some of your stories, we know what you are struggling with. Like you're struggling with pornography, you're struggling with extramarital affair, you have a husband but you're attracted to your best friend, so you're trying to stop that feeling, so it's a migration of emotions. It's some of the things that we share on stage. It's actually a real life situation. Like sisters who is just addicted to having partners, so they jump from one partner to another partner to another partner. And sisters who just refuse to pray, so they know they have to pray, but whenever they want to start salat, their legs suddenly feel heavy. So the level of hijrah is very different from one sister to another sister, and all of us are looking for answers. And just to echo what Ms. Mai said earlier, hijrah, in order for it to continue, you have to make sure there's a bigger purpose than you. The whole purpose why the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslimin, they traveled from Mecca, I'm not going to use the word travel, the hijrah from Mecca to Medina is because of God. They wouldn't do it on their own. Even with the atrocities, even with the butchering, the torture, the injustice, they were being attacked, right? Everyone. But that wasn't enough for them to leave everything behind in Makkah. It was when the Prophet ﷺ talked about the concept of hijrah and for them to seek safety, that's when they left. So they had two bigger purposes for them, which was the Prophet ﷺ and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which means, if the purpose of hijrah is just you, or just your children, or just your spouse, or just an umrah trip, Ustazah, I will do hijrah because I have an umrah trip coming along, you're gonna have it, but what's gonna happen after it? So you have to include a bigger being than you, which is God, or the Prophet ﷺ, inside, so that it's more doable and more continuous. Let me show you the second hadith. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is from Abu Hurairah. So, what did he say? The Prophet ﷺ said, as narrated by Abu Hurairah, beautiful hadith. اكلفوا من العمل ما تطيقون فإن خير العمل أدومه وإن قل. I've shared this hadith so many times, but we don't remember it. We are so hard on ourselves. I don't know what to do. I keep undoing what I've done. In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to do good deeds, you take what is ma tutiqun, what you're capable of. So when you want to start doing a hijrah, those of you who are not very hijrah, you cannot compare a journey to Sister Huda. She has gone through this change since 2019, right? Sister Huda Ali cannot compare her hijrah journey to mine. I've been a madrasah student since young. I cannot compare my hijrah journey to my teacher, right? So here the Prophet said, if you want to do something good, take only as much as you are capable of. And he didn't stop there. He said, فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ الْعَمَلِ أَدْوَمُهُ وَإِنْ قَلَّ. Because the best of good deed is something that is done consistently, even if it's small in your eyes. Let me give you an example. I have a student, I always share this. She has never prayed. She's 44 years old, she has never prayed the whole time. Right? So to pray 5 times a day is too much for her. So I suggested to her, pray once. Try to pray once. If you can, of course, pray 5 times because it's wajib. You know it's wajib. But it's too much for her because she has never prayed. So try slowly, pray Zuhur on time every single day. And then once you're able to do it, increase. Similar to what this hadith said, take as much good deeds, only the ones that you're capable of. But do not take advantage of this hadith. When I share this hadith, some students say, Ustazah, I'm only capable of wearing turban. That's enough for me. That's already too much for me, Ustazah. So turban can. So they make fun of this hadith. Because Islam is a religion of ease, so they take the easy way out. Ustazah, Allah is understanding, right? So I will just pray the ones I really feel like praying. The rest I haven't feel it yet. So it becomes a transaction, like Allah will understand that, Ustazah. So it becomes a negotiation with Allah. So hijrah is not a negotiation. You cannot say, Allah, I will do this 5 years later, but now I think I'm okay to give you 10%. That is different than what this hadith is aiming for. And then, so I shared with you 2 hadiths so far. The first one is, what did the Prophet say? Al-muhajir man hajara ma nahallahu an. The one who performs hijrah is the one who stay away from the things that Allah said not to do. And the second hadith that I share is, now that you are doing your hijrah, start with something that is doable, not impossible. Suddenly after this, you could know, Ustazah, I'm only wearing hijab, and I'm only wearing black, and I'm only wearing my marina and nothing else, and my hand socks all the way to my finger, and then complete opposite. That is a complete. Here you are, suddenly going out from her convention. Tomorrow I see you, I don't even know. You change your name to Sharifa, Ustazah, Masha Allah, I don't know. You change, right? This hadith is saying, if you want to do something good, you gotta make sure, in order for it to be consistent, you gotta make sure it's something that you're capable of doing. But let me show you the last hadith before I pass the mic to Miss Mike. Once you started the hijrah journey, there will be so many challenges. Yes, some of the questions are saying, Ustazah, is it true? The more you have changed, the more Allah will test you. The more He loves you, the more He will give you tests, because He knows you are capable to win those tests, right? In this hadith, narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin Al-As, he said, the Prophet ﷺ said, إن الإيمان لا يخلق في جوف أحدكم كما يخلق الثوب الخلق فاسألوا الله أن يجدد الإيمان في قلوبكم. So it's like our religion knows your pattern, you know. You're starting hijrah and then you're struggling, and then this is the second hadith, and then you're struggling, okay, this is the third hadith. Your religion knows your pattern, right? So when the Prophet ﷺ taught us, he kind of knows what's going to happen to us, right? So he taught us so much wisdom. In this hadith he said, your iman, so when you have performed your hijrah, you suddenly have worn hijab, you suddenly have started praying, you suddenly have started having a cleaner heart. You suddenly have started reading the Quran. What did the Prophet say? Guess what? Your iman is going to be worn off or worn out just like your baju. The more I wear this, the more maybe the beads will come out. Don't worry, the beads will come out because the big bosses are there, so I need to think about good things about the baju. The more you wear the baju, the more it's going to be worn, right? So it's not going to be the perfect condition. So the Prophet compared your iman to your baju. He said there will be a time where your iman is not at its premium best. So he knows. So those of you who are struggling, says, I'm not feeling it anymore. The Prophet knows. The Prophet said, yes, it's just like your baju. It's not going to be new and fresh all the time. So he gave us a solution. He said, and when that happens, you cannot do it on your own anymore. Your iman needs a bigger help, and that's when you have to ask Allah to renew it. You jacked it, you renew it. You gotta have that additional boost. Because we have arrived, but shaitan's gonna come in, your friends are gonna come in, your inner self is gonna come in and question you. So the Prophet said, and when that happens, you gotta have a bigger intervention, and that's when you have to ask Allah to come in and save you.
I want to add on to what Ustazah is saying, also go back to the 4 or even 5 types of hearts that has been described by both Sheikh Sulaiman. I know his teachings, and I think he teaches very beautiful Islam, mashallah. But I think we need to remember this. I'm just going to go back to the different types of hearts. If you remember, the first one is the sound heart. Right? What is a sound heart? Sound like a heart that is pure and sincere and devoted to God, and so forth and so on. And then for the next one we have is the dead heart. And then when there's a dead heart, there is a disconnection to God. And the third one is a diseased heart. And the diseased heart means a heart that is struggling with spiritual ailment like doubt, jealousy, anger, and so forth. And then we have the hard heart, a heart that has become desensitized or numb, like I mentioned earlier. And there's also this the repentance heart, a heart that is working towards repentance towards Allah, and also the contented heart. And of course, there is the grateful heart. As human, we would want to achieve at any of these stages. Of course, we want to remove ourselves from, say, for example, the dead heart. That's absolutely, not encouraged, right? I am inviting, based on the topic that we are having today, I'm wanting to introduce the concept of movement in the heart, especially when it comes to movement from an emotional state of the heart to the spiritual aspect of the heart. So when you are able to identify that you are moving and you are attending and you are needing the emotional aspect that the heart requires, then you tend to be more gentle towards your journey, particularly with your spiritual journey. And that's very, very important, because one of the dua that is being highly encouraged for us to have, other than Ya Muqallibal Qulub Thabbit ala dinik wa ta'atik, I can translate that for you. But there's the other thing that we need to also constantly ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, which is, Ya Allah, help me be soft towards my heart. In other words, we need to nurture softness. We need to nurture an attitude that we need to be gentle with our heart, as well as, when I say gentle, doesn't mean you give in everything. When I'm asked for $5, you give $50. No, that's not the softness that I'm asking for. In other words, I'm asking for each and every one of us to develop a different attitude towards attending to our hearts. Because when our hearts desire love, when our heart desire compassion, our heart desire understanding, when you put that and park that with needing to be a better Muslim, all of a sudden that's really stretching the function of the heart a bit far too much to me. So be kind and be gentle to your only heart that's the size of your palm. It's pumping blood throughout your body, throughout your aorta and many other things. At the same time, you're expecting this little heart to be the one attending to you, or rather making other people understand that this is the heart that you have and this is how you want it to be taken care of. So my dear sisters, don't push the heart too much, because it will pump based on the pumping that Allah has decreed the pumping. The pumping of our hearts is decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The amount of pain that we put in, let me just clarify this, the amount of pain that our heart experiences is what we put in our hearts. What we allow other people to put in our hearts. So this is the difference that makes the difference. If we don't see it differently, we are tempering. I use the word tempering very seriously, because you are causing the heart to experience a different kind of heartbeat. Let me give you an example. What do I mean by that? Someone who has never experienced anxiety suddenly experiences anxiety, and when you experience anxiety, you experience the different pumping of the heart. Why? Because you don't drink enough water, you don't have enough food, you eat junk and everything else because you want to soothe. And I always say this, when you think you are experiencing pain in the heart, most of us actually pay attention to what goes into the mouth, because we think by putting things in the mouth we feel a lot better. You eat more, what do I like to give it as a Lays. The potato chips, right? You eat Lays, and then you attend to the palate, but you forget what enters the palate enters the heart, enters the blood system. So if we don't pay attention to how we deal with the sadness that the heart experiences, then we will actually force it to function more than it should do. Am I making sense? So pay attention to the heart in terms of its physicality, as well as pay attention to your heart desires. But most of us, now we love and Allah protect all of us, when we experience sadness, pain, loss, grief, and anguish, for example, we want to move very quickly towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, oh Allah, take this pain away from me. Allah can take that away from you. But there's always something else also that Allah will take away, which is your normalcy. So I ask each and every one of us to be mindful in attending to our state of heart, because if we don't pay attention to that, we develop processes that actually hurt the heart a lot.
There are quite a number of questions about their heart is not at ease because the imam of the family, their husbands or their father, or maybe for those who don't have a mentee, their mom, they are not on the same page with regards to Hijrah. So some husbands do not want their wives to wear their hijab. Some husbands don't want their wives to solat. So in those cases where conflict arises, I think in terms of Islamic answer, besides dua, besides continuing to do good, right? You dua for them, you dua for your strength, you continue to do good no matter what, as long as it doesn't go against the, as long as it doesn't cause your safety. What are the ways that we can do to invite them? I mean, you are very good with languaging, right? So sometimes we want our husbands to do something, or we want our mom to like, Mom, you already mak dah 60 tahun, anak solat lagi. Like, you are worried for them more than they are worried for yourself. What? And then sometimes we don't know what's the right word to say, so we use Jahannam a lot. Right? Like, mak tak takut Jahannam ke? Mak tak takut kubur nanti kena azab. You know, aren't you afraid of the punishment of God? Because we don't know how else to invite them but to use fear. And sometimes it works, right? Your children are not praying like, hey, later Allah will scold you, pray now. It works. But for some, it will just make them more distant from the religion. You tell them Jahannam is waiting for them, they completely leave the religion. And it's sad. We have cases in Hayat where women, because the husband, they converted to Islam because their husband is a Muslim, and the husband isn't a good Khalifa. Because of the divorce, they left Islam. What can we say in our inviting?
I think before we invite, we have to stay.
Before we invite, we have to stay. We have to stay with what? Our frustration like
We
that?
have to stay. We have to stay with not knowing. That's number one. I mean, when I say this, I may sound like a therapist. I am a therapist, sadly. But I think what we need to really pay attention to is when we are not able to. Sometimes when we want to invite people to something, we need to understand whether they are ready or not. An invitation is to be able to actually open up avenues for them to feel invited to. But sometimes, and actually most of the time, we use fear because we are exhausted. We use fear or threat because we are extremely exhausted and we have actually given up. And people being people, you and I are people, we know when we have given up. We know, every one of us know when somebody has actually finally come to a point where, oh, this is at the end of the road. They just, say it for the sake of saying it, but not actually mean. I've realized that a lot of the time, when people need inviting, they need staying. In other words, you need to know where they are and what they're ready to listen as compared to what they need to think. If for mothers, if we have mothers in the room, I'm sure we have mothers in this room, I know you have very good intent. I know you have, and you want your children to be on the right path. I want you to know that Allah knows that. But just because Allah accelerated the path for you, it doesn't mean that you have the right to accelerate and push them towards having to accept that religion is the best and the best of ways for them as well. If our ways is that way, that's highly non-Islamic as well. So what you do towards inviting them in becoming a Muslim is not making them see how beautiful Islam is. And I think that's a very, very subtle thing that we need to pay attention to. How have I been a believer towards how am I as a believer towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala before I actually invite my child or whoever to actually become a believing Muslim, for example. So your question is really asking me to really pay attention to how can we be gentle with religiosity. Because when you want to invite people in every religion, if you are aware, I hope the light doesn't go off, what other religion as well as our religion does is to actually invite with kindness and mercy. When you use kindness and mercy, it will never go wrong. But the struggle is we too have never, ever yet to experience mercy. So for those who are going through Hijrah, inshallah, I think it is important for us to constantly ask Allah, oh Allah, help me be merciful towards myself. Help me be merciful towards my heart. Help me to exhibit mercy towards people. Instead of having to actually push for change.
I think one of the ways that we can do to support our Hijrah journey is to remember that it's not an arrival. So, Ustazah, my husband hasn't prayed. So when he prayed, that's an arrival. Ustazah, my daughter hasn't worn a hijab. So when she wears a hijab, that's an arrival. That's your KPI. It's not a KPI. It's an up and down battle.
Which is what I'm trying to say, Ustazah. I think we need to differentiate. If the person's misbehavior is an attitudinal, it has got nothing to do with spirituality.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be able to we need to differentiate that. We have an expectation that the person function or the person behave in a religious manner or rather spiritual manner. There is an expectation and it's perfect to have that expectation. But if you translate the expectation to expecting them to move in a certain way that you understand how Islam is, that is not Islam. That is an imposition of Islam. So Islam is not something, our religion doesn't talk about an imposition. It always talks about it.
Alright. Any last words before we go over to the last section?
The last section? Oh yes.
That is the
Oh,
last section.
sorry.
Those who are so stuck, you wrote a book about stuckness. It's been so fun.
Yes.
And they don't know where to start. So many actually. The question is, I want to change, but I don't know where to start, where to begin. What kind of compass do I follow? Yes, we know Islam is the compass, Allah is our compass, but how do they stand up and begin?
I don't have an answer because every one of us are something like me, but I do know one thing for sure. If you haven't had an experience where you feel nurtured by being in the religion, find someone who can nurture you. Because what's important is the experience of being nurtured within the religion is very important because Allah's mercy is wide. Allah's love is wide. We sometimes cannot exhibit love through religion because we are so compelled to function. In other words, if you don't have a circle of people who can allow you to experience care, love, and compassion, find one. Because if you cannot find it, and this is the thing that I thought I wanted to say. Never expect what you want Islamically to exist within your family and push them for it. If you can't find it in your family, find it in the Ummah. Because Allah gave us the Ummah. The Prophet teach us how to be with the Ummah. This is an Ummah. You can come with it. You and I are not blood, but when I see you, I swear to God, I'm so delighted to see you. It brings me warmth, it brings me tears to see you again. Because I know what it means to be here. For a moment. So it is important for us to know how to be with someone who can actually allow you to make you feel love. And that's important.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're going to end the session by reciting istighfar. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that when we recite istighfar, Allah will open up doors to whatever form of stuckness that we are going through. So, Huda, can we change to the istighfar slide? Yeah, can give Ustazah Liyana the microphone so she can lead the istighfar. Ustazah, you want to come and join us on the stage? Should we have one stage because we have the last segment. After this, you will have a giveaway, a sponsor hijab from With Soup and Hood. So some lucky sisters will be receiving free hijab from With Soup and Hood. Yeah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. If you have not recited istighfar earlier because you were shy or if you feel that your voice is like kata, I want you to not think of it. Remember, we are very near to the mosque. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very near to us. So use your heart and your emotions and your fear and your stuckness to Allah and give it all to Him, and then we will surrender every bit of stuckness and brokenness to Him, and we will recite istighfar in a slightly more slower version without the repercussion and the percussion. Astaghfirullah Rabbal Baraya, Astaghfirullah minal khataya, Astaghfirullah Rabbal Baraya, Astaghfirullah minal khataya, Astaghfirullah Rabbal Baraya,
الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا ربي زدني علما نافعا ووفق لي عملا مقولا وهب لي رزقا واسعا وتب علينا توبة نصوحا وتب علينا توبة نصوحا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا يا كريم الوجه مثلي قبل أن يفنى اصطباري قد كفاني علم ربي من سؤالي واختياري من سؤالي واختياري أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا أستغفر الله رب البرايا أستغفر الله من الخطايا.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد. Alright, Alhamdulillah, may Allah SWT accept our, no, stay here. May Allah SWT accept our istighfar. I would like to use this opportunity to share some of the hijab with our sisters who are wanting to start their hijab journey. Ustazah Atika, choose one name. And everyone with that name will get the hijab. So, tangan you adalah sekarang semuanya di tangan you.
Muslim has letter A.
Bidayah min al-ism. ليس اسم عادي معلش اسم غريب.
Wardah.
Wow, we have Wardah. Okay, Wardah, come. Bismillah. One hijab from food. Yes, we need more sisters to help out the adult top as well. Okay, Sherry, come down. No, you will just remember their names and their faces, and then they will come down. Your turn to choose a name. Come, stand up.
Maimunah.
Allah, Siti. No. Come on, faster. Hidayah. Those who are Hidayah, stand up. Yes, okay, remember Shirin, remember Hidayah does Huda shoe. Anyone else? Hidayah, good, give to all the Hidayah. Everybody stand up, kesian shoe terlari. Mish, I need you to help out as well, okay? Next, Atika. Yes, Atika. Okay, this one can get us though. Atika, stand up. Yes, remember, Shirin, remember everyone, okay? All of you, just go over to Shirin afterwards and claim your hijab. Next. Alright, Ustazah, Isantani. This is really risky, Allah to say we haven't really planned this.
Mudawarah.
Oh, marha. Nama sedap, Mudawarah. Okay, can I choose? Liyana. Yay! Stand up. Cantiknya semua nama Liyana.
Good.
We have more than enough, inshallah. Okay, remember, kiddos at the second level, don't worry, we have never forgotten about you. Your hijab, you come down, you tarik. Remember. Come on, one more. Sharifah. Marha. Please stand up, Sharifah. We have two more. Okay. And then the next one we have in the LV bag, that is the one from Wali Pregnancy. Okay, Ustazah, Tali sama Wabib.
Macam nak namakan anda
Tadi belum kahwin. Sekejap. Ini dulu. Mastura? Oh, tak ada.
Tak ada.
Oh, ada.
Okay. Masra, you got a set of scent. We hope you like it. Masra, take now. Okay, good. Alright. Intan tadi kamu ke mana? Kasih guna apa terus?
I kasi Aisyah.
Okay, Aisyah, Marha, come on. How many more of the scents do we have? The hijab, don't forget to give it for the sisters at the top. Okay, 3 more? 2 more? No? Okay. At the end, maybe the rest you can give it for those who are in the second level. Okay? Alright, okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Ada banyak lagi tu? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Ustazah dia nak bagi disebutkan. Tapi you want to highlight. The ones that from second level? Oh, Bosoma. So much more. 5 more. Ustazah, mana? Bawa satu. Dulu susah. Kasihlah dulu. Dulu semua kawan dulu. Okay, Nurul. Okay, tak apa. Yang kalau the gift habis, you get a copy of our books. Okay, you minta buruk situ. Tidak ada orang buruk situ kasih pasal ambil balik. Kalau yang janji nak kasih tapi tak kasih, isi buruk situ. Tolong kita. Alright, so doa untuk penutup doa. Nama ini adalah boleh. Oh, okay. Satu lagi nama. Satu lagi. Farhana, okay. Farhana satu dua tiga. Okay, Farhana. Yes, Farhana, stand up your hand. You guys notice, I'm actually not feeling too well, so I'm feeling 6:30.
Boleh beli sip koko.
You promoting my product? Oh my god. No, okay, alright. Okay, maybe since both of the bosses are very nice here, maybe can give away one set. I will pay for one set of wardah khimar. Amal, choose one day. One set of wardah khimar. Tengok dia punya suspense, baik tau. Cepat.
Anyone birthday in October? I did not promise to pay that much. You all sponsor. Subhanallah. So I see. Everybody bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mashallah. Rezeki. Unjuk I see. Okay? Masya Allah. Rezeki. Ustazah boleh? Masya Allah. I will go over to the booth. Yeah? Okay, next slide. Apa ni? Masya Allah. Really. Bismillah. Rezeki. Yeah, you see, bila nak hijrah tu, Allah will move mountains for you. Sometimes you want that mountain to be moved, but Allah is saying, no, not yet. But He will move and ease for you in other ways. So even if it's little, embrace it, celebrate it. Yeah? Okay, Bismillah. Thank you so much for Marina. Everyone, just some of them are asking, how come they don't see this baju at the booth? Because this is the exclusive range. So you have to pre-order it. You got to pre-order it. Okay, Bismillah, Ustazah. May Allah SWT accept our dua.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة اللهم إنا نسألك من الخير كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ونعوذ بك من الشر كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحانك ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you so much everyone for your time, for your coming here, for your